Kings, aces galore. One wrong turn of the card will send you out the door. On Card Sharks! And your host of Card Sharks, Jose Casas!
Thank you very much, Scott Michaels, for that wonderful opening poem and doing our announcing duties for tonight. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another exciting edition of Card Sharks here in the MVG studios. We're glad you could be here with us tonight. On our last show, we yet again crowned a new champion, and we welcome him back with one win under his belt and a season total so far of $3,100. Let's welcome back Mr. Kevin Henry.
Hello, Jose.
Well, Kevin, you dethroned a worthy champion last time in Adam Oliver, but you had a promising run of the money cards, but then all of a sudden those last two made it have a terrible ending.
Yeah, it's part of the game. As someone who's played poker a time or six in his lifetime, I know how bad certain cards can be at given times. So I ain't worried about it. Brush it off, and let's get going with the next one.
Well, that's the kind of attitude we like to see. You're still the champion, and you are definitely ready to meet your next opponent, I'm sure.
Yeah, because he's from a state that I'm familiar with.
Well, he resides from the great state of Wisconsin. He is the Flat Broke Kid, Scott Michaels.
Hello.
All right, Scott, welcome in the Card Sharks here. Aside from what I just mentioned, what else should we know about you?
From Wisconsin, more specifically Oshkosh, college student, part-time convenience store worker, game show fan, video game fan, and avid bowler.
Oh, what's your best score?
289. I screwed up one shot for my first ever 300.
That's still a good score, though. I mean,
Yeah, I will take it, but 300 hopefully is coming this year.
I only have just one question for you.
Yes.
How are you not in the pro leagues? I'm just kidding.
That is actually my goal for this year. I'm one step away from being qualified. I'm one step from being qualified to go pro.
Oh, well, I apologize then. I didn't know how far you were in your journey. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made that joke. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, in any case, we got a battle of the cheeseheads here. Because both of you are Packers fans.
Dun 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 dun. Really?
Go, Pack, go.
Thank you.
That didn't register in my head, and I was like,
Moving on. All right, so wish the both of you the best of luck here. Of course, you know the object of the game is to make your way to the end of the board by correctly calling high and low on the cards. The first one to do so wins the round. It takes 2 round wins to win a match. The winner becomes our champion and goes on to the money cards where they can win up to $32,000 in cash. Now, in order to gain control of the cards, you got to get a high-low toss-up question correct. So, let's get started with our first round here and our first question, which goes to our champion, Kevin. All right, Kevin, we asked 100 Star Wars fans.
Oh.
Can you name more state capitals or Star Wars planets? How many of those Star Wars fans said they could name more state capitals?
Okay. How many said they can name more state capitals than Star Wars planets?
Correct.
Just show my ignorance here. How the hell many planets are there in Star Wars? I have the foggiest idea. But I do know that Star Wars fans, the hardcore Star Wars fans, live, breathe, and eat Star Wars. But they can't all be incredibly stupid. So I will say 30.
All right, he says 30 out of 100 can name more state capitals than Star Wars planets. Scott, higher or lower than 30?
I think they'll know more than that. I'm gonna say higher.
All right, he says higher than that. Of course, if it is higher, Scott, you will get control of the cards first. If not, it'll be Kevin. The actual number of Star Wars fans who can name more state capitals than Star Wars planets is 66. It is higher. Like Kevin said, they can't be completely stupid. They gotta know at least some state capitals.
Right.
Alright, but Scott, you've got control of the cards for the first time. Let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a 5. Now, you won the question, so you of course know that you have the right to change that card if you so wish.
I'll play it, and I'll say higher.
Alright, keeping it going higher than the 5. It's an 8.
Breeze.
Freezing it right there, the Dirty Snowman, keeping Kevin away from his cards. And that now brings us to our second question of the round. And Scott, this one is yours. We asked 100 people, Scott, do you like your boss? How many said that they do?
God. It all depends on where people work, but for the most part, I'm gonna say 40.
40, you said?
Yeah, 40.
Alright, he says 40 out of 100 do like their boss. Kevin, higher or lower than 40?
Well, I do like my bosses for sure. Shoutouts to Evan, Amber, Ashley, Todd, Steve. You guys are the best. I think it's actually higher than that.
Alright, he says higher. I'm gonna be honest, I like my bosses too. They are very humble people at that. So I'm in the same ballpark here, but let's find out our answer here. The actual number of people who do like their boss is 73. It is higher. All right. So Kevin, you've got control of the cards for the first time, and let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a jack.
Okay. Let's go lower.
All right, going lower than the jack. It's a 9.
I'll freeze.
Playing it safe, freezing at the 9, keeping Scott away from his cards. We have a tie game right now, both players needing 3 cards to win the round. And that now brings us to our third question of the round, and it goes back to Kevin.
All right.
All right, Kevin, we asked 100 recent college graduates, do you have a savings account? How many said that they do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I know when I was in college, I didn't have one. I have to believe that, and this is recent college graduates, you said?
Correct.
I think some of them have got to have learned financial responsibility either by themselves or through their parents. So I'm gonna tip it in the higher direction. I'll say 55.
All right, he says 55 out of 100 do have a savings account. Scott, higher or lower than 55?
Well, I'm in college and I have a savings account right now. I believe if they graduate, they still have that, so I'm gonna say higher.
All right, he says higher than that. All right, the actual number of recent college graduates who do have a savings account is 88. It is higher.
Not bad. Good job.
Yeah, good on them. In reality, it should be all 100, but I digress. All right, so Scott, you've got control of the cards, and you have that 8 that you can change.
Yes, change that, please.
All right, the 8 goes away, and we replace it with a 3.
Alright, that's better. Higher.
Going higher than the 3, it's a 4.
Higher.
Going on, higher than the 4. It's a 10.
Lower.
He's going to risk it for game number 1 of the match and $1,000. Lower than the 10? No, it's a king! You lose all 3 of those cards, go right back to the 3, and that gives Kevin a free chance at the 9, which you cannot change.
Alright, I'll try lower.
Going lower than the 9. It's a 3.
Higher.
Going higher than the 3. It's an 8.
Freeze.
Freezing it right there, needing only 1 card to pick up the first round win of the match. And that now brings us to our 4th question of the round. It is the last one, and it is sudden death. So that means somebody has to win on this next play of the cards. The question goes to Scott. All right, Scott, we asked 100 single men. Are you on more than one dating app? How many said yes?
Ooh. I'm gonna say 60.
All right, he says 60 out of 100 are on more than one dating app. Kevin, higher or lower than 60?
I'm on multiple dating apps, but I don't think that many are. So, and not all singles are looking. So I'll say lower.
All right, he says lower than that. I know back, I think a few years, well, maybe not a few years, but I think when I was around 19 or 20, I think I was on multiple dating apps, but then I deleted the accounts for personal reasons. But yeah, I am searching myself. But let's find out the answer here. For all important control of the cards, the actual number of single men who are on more than one dating app is 32. It is lower. All right, Kevin, you've got the decision here. You have an 8. Now, you won the question, so you can, of course, change it, and you have to call this one card correctly. If you don't, Scott takes the first win. However, you have control. You can force Scott to play off the 3, which he cannot change. You would have to call 3 cards correctly, and if he messes up even 1, you pick up the first win of the match. What do you want to do?
I will take fate into my own hands. I'll play it and change it.
All right, going to play it himself, changing the 8, an all-important change. It goes away, and we replace it with a jack.
All right, let's go lower.
For game number 1 of the match and $1,000, lower than the jack. It's a 4. He's got it.
Good job, Kevin.
You too.
All right, Kevin, congratulations. You pick up another $1,000 for winning the round, and you now go up to $4,100 for your championship run.
All right.
And you are up 1-0. But of course, like I said, it takes 2 round wins to win a match. So Scott, you can still get yourself right into this game. Let's clear the cards up and get everything ready for a second round. All right, second round of the game. And the first question goes to Scott.
Alrighty.
All right, Scott, here we go. Well, in the last question, we asked 100 single men, but for this one, we asked 100 single people. Could you date someone with the same first name as one of your parents? How many said that they would?
Ooh, that's an awkward bedroom situation. I don't think it's gonna be that many. I'm gonna say 30.
He says 30 out of 100 could do this. Kevin, higher or lower than 30?
I could, and I did. I dated a girl named Janet once. That was my mother's name, and so I don't think it really makes a difference. Someone's name. Let's go higher.
All right, he's going higher than that. All right, the actual number of single people who could date someone with the same first name as one of their parents is 70. It is higher.
Wow.
Yeah, names I don't think really make a difference. I mean, heck, I have the same middle name as my old man. So, and my mother and father have been married, I think, for about think on the verge of about over 20 years.
Not bad.
All right, but Kevin, you've got control of the cards first, and let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a 7.
I will change it.
Changing to 7, it goes away, and we replace it with a 10.
Not much better. I'll go lower.
Going lower than the 10, it's a deuce.
Let's go higher.
Going higher than the deuce, it's a jack.
Lower.
Going on, lower than the jack. Oh no, it's a king!
That's alright.
Lose those 3 cards, go back to the 10, no progress made there, and that means Scott gets a free chance to play off an 8.
Yay. Higher.
Going higher than the 8, it's a jack.
Lower.
Going on, lower than the jack, it's a 3.
Higher.
Going on, higher than the 3, it's an ace.
Lower.
For $2,000, not only for winning the round and sweeping the board and the tie of the match, lower than the ace, it's a 6. We have a tie game.
Not bad.
I was expecting another ace, honestly.
Wow. Well, hey, Scott, congratulations there. You pick up not only $1,000 for winning this round, but since you were able to sweep the board entirely without making one mistake, you get a bonus $1,000, so $2,000 that you cannot lose.
Sweet.
And you have tied up the match at 1 apiece. With that being said, though, we gotta decide this game through a tiebreaker. 3 cards and only 1 question. The champion always gets the questions in the tiebreaker, so Kevin, it is yours.
Okay.
Here it is. I don't believe this. We started the game by asking with a question that asked 100 Star Wars fans, and we're ending the game with this one. We asked 100 Star Wars fans, have you ever tried to use the Force to move something? How many said that they had?
Oh, man. How many said that they have used the Force to move something?
Correct.
Gee, many. I'm going to keep my comments to a minimum here. 25.
Alright, he says 25 out of 100 have done it. Scott, higher or lower than 25?
I'm going higher.
Alright, for all important control of the cards once again, the actual number of Star Wars fans who have ever tried to use the Force to move something is 71. It is way higher.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, these are Star Wars fans for crying out loud. It's like the most popular thing besides lightsabers in that universe. Alright, but anyways, Scott, you've got the decision. So, I'm going to start by revealing both of your base cards. Kevin has a deuce. And you also have a deuce.
Huh, ironically the same suit.
Now, keeping in mind, you can keep control yourself and play off these 2 cards, knowing that if you make one mistake, Kevin picks up his second win, or you can pass control over to Kevin, and if he makes a mistake, you win the match. What do you wish to do?
Well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm taking fate into my own hands. I'll play.
Alright, and I assume you want to keep the deuce.
Please.
Alright, go ahead and call
Higher.
it. He says higher than the deuce. It's a 4.
Higher.
To become the new champion and pick up another $1,000, higher than the 4, it's an ace! We have a new champion! As my voice cracks.
Shut up, Scott.
Goodness gracious. Congratulations, Scott. You pick up another $1,000. You are the new champion with a total of $3,000. And you'll be playing the money cards here in just a moment. Well, Kevin, you were up against a worthy challenger here. But you still have fun with us on this run regardless.
Oh yeah, always.
Well, you're definitely not leaving out of here empty-handed. You picked up $1,000 for winning the first round, and you leave us with a respectable total of $4,100 for the season. And
that works.
And we look forward to having you back on a future episode to try to add to it.
Alrighty.
Alright, but that is Kevin Henry, everyone, and Scott, congratulations, you are the new champion.
Sweet.
And again, you've got a total of $3,000. However, when we come back from this commercial break, you're going to have an opportunity to take on the money cards here to see if you can pick up to over $32,000 more. We will see how he does right after this here on Card Sharks. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks, everybody. We're here with our new champion, Scott Michaels, who came back from behind and took the next two and took rounds 2 and 3 in a row to end up becoming the new champion, picking up $3,000. But I almost forgot to do this before the commercial break here. We got to play the what if game here. So, Kevin, had Scott pass control to you, what would your call have been on the deuce?
What do you think?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have asked. He probably would have went higher than the deuce. It would have been an 8.
I would have gone higher again because I didn't see many face cards.
And you would have lost. So it was set up for Scott to win either way. Alright, but there you have it. And Scott, you ready to win more money here?
Let's do it.
Alright, let's go ahead and get to it by playing the money cards. Alright, so Scott, here's how this works. We're, of course, going to start you off on the bottom row with $200 worth of betting money, and you make your way across the bottom row, calling the next 3 cards, betting as you wish. Then we go to the top, we'll give you another $400 of betting money and work your way across those 3 cards as you wish. The minimum bets are $50 until you get to the big bet, where you have to bet at least half of your money. Of course, along the way, you can change 1 card per row by using one of the spare cards on the left side of the board. And if a duplicate card comes up, that's a push. So with that said, let's go ahead and deal out the cards. Give you $200 worth of betting money. And let's start by showing you your opening base card. You have a 7.
Change that with number 1, please.
Alright, using the change, the 7 goes away and we replace it with an ace.
The whole thing lower.
Can't lose on this one. All $200 lower than the ace. Oh my goodness!
At least I don't lose it.
Look familiar to you, Kevin?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, you still have an ace and $200, Scott.
Let's try that again. All of it lower.
Please don't let this happen again. All $200 lower than the ace. There you go, it's a 9.
Alright. $200 lower.
Risky bet here, going half. $200 lower than the 9. It's a 4.
Okay.
Alright, you have $600. We move the 4 up to the second row. You're now up to $1,000, and you have a 4.
Let's go 600 higher.
Alright, going $600. Higher than the 4? It's a queen. 1,600 and a queen.
1,200 lower.
Going $1,200. Lower than the queen. It's a 9. You have 2,800 and a 9.
Change that with number 2.
Using his change again, the 9 goes away, and we replace it with a 3.
2,500 higher.
$2,500. Higher than the 3? It's a 6. Alright, Scott, we move that 6 up to the top row. You have $5,300, and you have to bet at least $2,650. You can, of course, bet more, and you can change it.
Let's try to get... That is decent, but I want to try to get better. Change it with number 3.
Alright, an all-important change here. The 6 goes away, and we replace it with an 8. Again, the minimum bet is $26.50.
All right. I'm gonna try to hit 2650. Let's go $2,700 lower.
$2,700. All right, so you will either have $2,600 or an even $8,000. Now, you said higher?
Lower.
You said lower. Okay, just making sure.
Yes. Yeah, I said lower.
If this card is lower than an 8, it's a 2. He's done it! And I almost forgot to add it to the wager there, but hey, what matters is I forgot to put the wager on my end, but we know the total. You have $8,000 that you picked up in this game. We add that to the $3,000 that you picked up in the main game, and you have a one-game total of $11,000.
Awesome.
Yeah, a little production mistake there on my end, but we know the total, and Scott, you're gonna be facing another opponent here momentarily. We'll see who that opponent is right after this here on Card Sharks. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks, everybody. We're here with our champion, Scott Michaels, who did very well for himself in the money cards, picked up another $8,000, so you currently have a one-game total of $11,000. And with that win, Scott, you are now in 4th place on the leaderboard. You're only $6,200 behind the next highest player. Now, are you ready to meet your next challenger here?
Let's do it.
All right, he comes to us from the great state of Louisiana. Let's welcome in Mr. James Doe.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Glad to have you here with us on the show. James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ding. That's all you need to know. Ding. I'm just kidding. I'm an assistant manager at a sports retail store, and on the side, I am a referee.
And that's all we need to know. Okay.
Yeah, for no answer.
All right, well. Essentially, we got a battle here between the Packers and the Saints, you could say. All right, it is Wisconsin against Louisiana. If the two of you are ready, I wish you both the best of luck here. Y'all are very familiar with how the game works, so let's go ahead and get right into it with our first question of our first round. And Scott, it is yours.
Great.
Oh boy, this is a good one to start. Scott, we asked 100 women who were gambling in Las Vegas. Did you gamble before you ate breakfast this morning? How many said that they had?
Ooh.
I like the context of this one.
You know what? When they're in Vegas, they don't need breakfast. Just give them mimosas and they're fine.
You're not wrong.
I'll say 45, though.
Alright, he says 45 gambled before they ate. James, higher or lower than 45?
That's hard. I will go lower.
He says lower than that. Alright. The actual number of women who were gambling in Vegas who did gamble before they ate breakfast this morning is 28. It is lower. Yeah, not that many.
Everybody need their breakfast. Especially if it's free in Vegas.
Oh my god, right? Alright, but James, you've got control of the cards. Let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a 9. Now you can of course change it if you want. And that's what he's gonna do. The 9 goes away and we replace it with a Jack.
Not better, but lower.
Alright, going lower than the Jack. It's a 7.
I hate this. Let's be risky higher.
One turn to the card and he already hates this game, I'm afraid. Alright, going on. Higher than the 7? No, it's a 4.
Oh.
So no progress is... right, no progress is made there. You go back to the jack, and that means the champion gets a free chance to play off a 10.
Lower.
Going lower than the 10, it's a 7.
Freeze.
Playing it safe here, freezing at the 7 with the 1 card advantage. And that now brings us to our second question of the round. And James, this one is yours. Oh, and I thought the last one was a good one. This one's even better. James, we asked 100 women.
More women questions.
That may change on the next one just for that, but we'll see. All right, James, we asked 100 women. Were you truthful about the weight that's printed on your driver's license? How many said yes?
Answer very carefully.
27.
27, all right. Scott, higher or lower than 27?
I'm gonna say higher. I don't know if I'm right saying that.
Well, we'll find out here in a moment. The actual number of women who were truthful about the weight that's printed on their driver's license is 78. It is higher.
That's a bull-faced lie.
Rest assured, these questions are all legit. Alright, so, Scott, you've got control of the cards, moving along swiftly from that question, and you have that 7.
Change it.
Alright, the 7 goes away, and we replace it with an ace.
Lower.
On lower than the ace, it's a 5.
Higher.
He's going on, higher than the 5. Another ace.
Lower.
For game number 1 of the match and another $1,000, lower than the ace, it's a 5. He's done it. It only took him 2 questions, and Scott is already up 1-0. All right, and as I mentioned, Scott, you pick up another $1,000 for winning that round, so your new total now $12,000. And again, you are up 1-0, but again, it takes 2 round wins to win a match, so James, you can still get yourself into this game. Let's go ahead and clear the board here and get things ready for our second round. Alright, so round number 2, our first question goes to our challenger in this case, so James, it is yours.
Come on, women question.
Nah, this isn't women, unfortunately. This one's just 100 people.
Okay.
So James, we asked 100 people, did you ever perform in a high school play or musical? How many said yes? They're laughing because, I'm sure he'll tell us in a moment. You said 37?
Yep.
He says 37 out of 100. Scott, higher or lower than 37?
Can all 100 people be me?
No, they cannot all be you.
Realistically, though, I'm gonna say lower.
Hey, he's gonna go lower than that. Alright. Now, the reason we were laughing after I had read the question was because our champion here, I believe, has... One thing I don't think he's mentioned about himself is he's actually been in a play or a musical, I think.
Yeah, I've been in 2 plays, and my major I'm going for is in theater.
So, yeah.
I know a thing or 2.
Or 3. Anyways. Alright, the actual number of people who did ever perform in a high school play or musical is 32. It is lower.
I had a feeling.
And James, both of you were right in the ballpark with that one.
Good guess, James.
Alright, so Scott, you've got control of the cards. And let's take a look at your opening base card. It's a 10.
Let's change it, see what happens.
Alright, the 10 goes away, and we replace it with an 8.
Disgusting. Okay. Lower.
Going lower than the 8, it's a 4.
Higher.
Higher than the 4. It's a 7.
Freeze.
Freezing it right there at the 7, taking a 2-card advantage and keeping James away from his cards. And that now brings us to our second question of the round. And Scott, it is yours.
Ready?
Oh boy. Scott, we asked 100 college students.
I relate to that also.
In the past month, have you pulled an all-nighter? How many said that they had?
Well, I've never pulled an all-nighter before. And I don't think many college students have. I'm honestly gonna say 15.
Higher.
It says 15 out of 100. I pulled it all-nighter, and James didn't even need me to ask, because he's going with higher. All right. The actual number of college students who, in the past month, have pulled an all-nighter is 86. It is way higher. You forget, this being 2022, the all-nighter life is starting to become more popular.
Wow, I was on the wrong end of the spectrum.
Well, indeed you were. Alright, but James, you've got control of the cards for the first time this round. Let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a 6.
Higher.
Keeping the 6, going higher than the 6. No, it's a deuce!
You gotta be.
Oh,
Brandon,
no.
can you give me a sensor, please?
The bleep sound, courtesy of our soundboard, Mr. Brandon Scruggs. Alright, but Scott, you get a free chance now at the 7, but you cannot change it.
Higher.
Going higher than the 7? It's a queen.
Lower.
For another $1,000 and to pick up your second win as champion, lower than the queen, it's a 10. He's done it again.
Good game, Jen.
All right, Scott, you pick up another $1,000 for winning the match. You now go up to $13,000, and you're going back to the money cards in just a moment.
All right.
James, you gave it your valiant effort there, sir, but you're up against a very tough opponent.
I don't. Yeah, Scott is a good opponent, but it's not. It was not him that beat me. It's the cards. Brandon, can you get this system one more time, please?
Oh.
Thank you.
You never know how those cards can be, so they just unfortunately did not work out for you, but you are not leaving it out of here empty-handed. You may not have won any rounds, but you are going to pick up a house minimum here, our house minimum here of $500 just for participating. But we thank you for playing, James, and we look forward to having you back on a future show, I'm sure.
I'll be back.
All right, that is James Doe, and Scott, you've done it again. $13,000, and you now have 2 wins under your belt. But when we come back, you're going to be going back to the money cards to see if you can win a whole lot more money. So we'll be right back here on Card Sharks right after this to see how he does. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We're here with our now 2-time champion, Scott Michaels, who picked up his second win and shut out his latest challenger, James Doe. Now has a total of $13,000. But Scott, I know you're ready to win a whole lot more money here, so let's take you back to the money cards. Alright, you've played this before, so you know how this works. Let's just go ahead and get right to it. Here's your $200 of betting money, and let's take a look at your base card. You have a deuce!
All of it higher.
Oh, please don't let it be like the last time. $200 higher than the deuce. It's a 9, okay. You have $400 in it.
Change with 1.
$400 and a 9, and he is changing it with number 1. The 9 goes away, and we replace it with a 3.
Let's be risky. All of it higher.
Going all $400. Higher than the 3. It's an 8. You have $800 and an 8 that you have to play.
200 higher.
All right, going $200. Higher than the 8. It's a 9. All right, you have $1,000. We move that 9 up to the second row, give you another $400 of betting money. You have $1,400 and a 9.
Change it with number 2.
All right, using the change once again, the 9 goes away, and we replace it with a 6. A little better.
800 higher.
All right, going $800. Higher than the 6. It's a 7. All right, you have $2,200.
I'll go 800 again, and I'll go higher again.
$800. Higher than the 7. It's a 10. You're up to $3,000 with a 10.
Okay. I don't trust it very much. I'm gonna say 500 lower.
All right, betting respectively here. $500 lower than the 10. No, it's an ace, but we move that ace up to the top row. $2,500. You have to bet at least $1,250, but I assume you want to bet more.
Let me think about this for a second.
Get $1! Get $1!
Hey, peanut gallery, stop drinking the hooch. Let the man play his game.
All in lower.
All joking aside, Scott, you cannot lose on this card, so you're either going to have $2,500 or $5,000 if this card is lower than the ace.
If it's an ace, I might need to censor.
And you have to censor because it's a push. I don't believe this. That's now.
I told you to change it. You don't listen to him.
That's twice in a row now that has happened.
And with ace and full time.
In 2 episodes in a row, we've had a push to end the money cards.
Well, ain't that a son of a...
That was
I call
perfectly
shenanigans. That's
timed. That was
shenanigans right
perfectly
there.
timed.
The chances of another ace follow-up are just astronomical. This is the most ratchet beat I've ever seen. Like, what the... Oh.
Now, just for S's and giggles here, I don't know if I can do this, but what if he had changed it? What would it have been?
Probably an ace.
Nah, you can't
that's another
reveal
ace.
it.
Oh. Shit. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't reveal it. Oh well.
God.
Yeah.
It was another ace on the last
Work the
Unfortunately,
game, you never know.
we'll never know now.
Hey, it could have been another ace.
But I wish I could have given you the $5,000, Scott, but I have to play by the rules. It was a push, so you still finish up with another $2,500, and when we add that to the $13,000 that you picked up in the last 2 games, you now have a 2-win total of $15,500.
Hey, money's money.
And more importantly, you're still the champion, and we will be seeing you hopefully on our next show as you defend your title. Alright, but folks, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Card Sharks. That's now 2 episodes in a row. Again, like I said, we've had a push to end off the money cards. I really hope that this is a streak that can end sooner than later. We'll have to find out next time, though, because that's all the time we got. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time when the cards come shuffling our way once again, I'm your host, Jose Cosnes. For all of us here at MVG Productions, we will see you next time for more of Card Sharks. Good night, everybody.